And so are you, because up next on Cheat, we're kicking the tires on your favorite role-playing games. From World of Warcraft to Kingdom Hearts 2, it's time to let the good times roll on Cheat. Welcome to Cheat, the show that treats video game rules like quaint little suggestions. I'm Kristen Holt, and tonight we're going in deep on all your favorite role-playing games. We'll explore the animated antics of Kingdom Hearts 2 and the ancient Chinese secrets of Jade Empire. But first, let's team up for a 20-man raid in World of Warcraft's Entourage. War is once again brewing in Silithus. Those brave enough to venture through the Scarab Wall and into the ruins of Entourage will face a challenge yet unseen. It's a good thing I'm here to give you some tips on defeating the bosses of AQ20. The first boss, Kuranax, is only a few trash pulls in. This little bugger is a fairly straightforward fight, but it has a couple of nasty tricks up its sleeves. Our strategy here is pretty simple. Let your main tank pull initial aggro and your off tanks build aggro on either side of Kuranax so they won't get hit by the cleave attack. Send the other melees to the rear and attack them there. All other casters and ranged DPS need to spread out and encircle the bug. Keep an eye out for sand traps that randomly spawn underneath the player's feet. If you see one bubbling anywhere near you, stop whatever you're doing and run away. Getting hit by one is just not fun. All healers should concentrate on keeping the tanks alive, and everyone but the tanks are expected to bandage themselves if they get hit by a sand trap. When a tank has 4 mortal wound debuffs stacked on, the other tanks need to pull aggro off and keep Kuranax's attention. The debuffs last for 15 seconds, so a 3-tank rotation should be able to hold aggro and not let the big bug run free one-shotting casters. Have your DPS machines unload on him and knock him out.
Protect the city at all costs.
The next fight is one of the most fun and insane fights in WoW. The most important aspect to this fight is keeping a group of NPCs alive, Lieutenant General Anderoff and his Calderae elites. We recommend making a target macro and having 3 healers keep their eye on this group. Use the V key to bring up the health bars, which will make it quite a bit easier to keep tabs on them. When each wave enters the room, the warlocks should begin chain-fearing the mobs. Have a hunter mark an enemy to guide the raid on what to kill, which is an effective way of focusing firepower. Tank a Karaji warrior away from the NPCs for each wave, and let casters use their wand to save mana. Don't take too long killing the last warrior though, because each wave is on a timer, and the raid can get into trouble if they're not careful. If you're able to keep the NPCs alive till the end, then it should be smooth sailing. General Rajax has an AoE attack which knocks off 50% of your health. It's really not something to worry about unless you're really low on health. It's also important to put your back to this wall so your knockback will be minimal. Have the healers focus on the NPCs during this phase of the fight. Since the Lieutenant General is immune to the knockback, he should be able to hold aggro while DPS brings an end to General Rajax.
Continue the fight!
Since I only have so much time, I'm gonna skip the optional bosses and go straight for Osirion the Unscarred. To defeat the final boss of AQ20, it'll take a lot of coordination between raid members. First off, make sure you have a designated Crystal Clicker and Crystal Seeker. This duo will be responsible for finding and clicking the crystals every 45 seconds to keep Osirion out of Supreme mode. The basic strategy here is to kite the boss from crystal to crystal. That, of course, is easier said than done. The raid will have to keep an eye on roaming tornadoes that'll inflict massive damage to anyone caught in its path. Osirion will also do a stomp that will knock back anyone nearby. It's important for the tanks to always be heading toward the designated crystal. Healers need to position themselves between the tanks and the crystals, so they'll be able to stay within range to get off heals. Every time Osirion is debuffed, he'll be vulnerable to one of the elements. I'd recommend waiting until after the 3rd crystal before opening up, just so you don't pull aggro. Continue this process and you'll conquer AQ20 before you know it. I don't know about about you, but after a 20-man raid like that, I really need some alone time. You know, a nice bath, maybe a spa treatment. Besides, I want to be fresh as a daisy for my trip through the Xbox Live downloadable expansions for Oblivion. Home to such celebrities as John Larroquette, Lonnie Anderson, and the Van Pattens, Oblivion is also one of the best reasons to have an Xbox Live account. It's spawned a handful of awesome expansion packs. The Wizard's Tower was one of the first Oblivion expansions to hit the ether. It seems you've inherited Frostcrag Spire, nestled high in the Gerald Mountains. In addition to a gourmet kitchen, all-new plumbing, and formal dining room, the Spire comes with an alchemy lab, which immediately grants you a plus 15 alchemy bonus. Mages will flip for the fully stocked herb garden, but even regular folk will be able to enchant weapons and make custom spells. Feeling lonely? Summon up an Atronach familiar to obey your every command. The downside is, you have to kill some other elementals and reassemble their body parts just to make one familiar. And frankly, your horse is more useful in a fight. But you do what you think is best. If you were like me and you wanted to be a Goonie when you were growing up, the Thieves' Den is more your speed. Centuries ago, Captain Dougal and the crew of the pirate ship, the Black Flag, were stuck in a cavern under the Anvil Castle. Now it's your turn to become captain. Go to Dumbarrow Cove and clear out the skeletons of those 6 pirates and the cursed captain. Once the cove is yours, speak to Dahlia Rackham of the Clarabella to hire a crew. You can hire a supplier, fence, fletcher, spymaster, security expert, and upgrade your quarters. Once your infamous crew is together, other pirates will start joining in the hopes of becoming rich. Talk to any of the pirates in the cove and ask them to head out and plunder.
Of course.
And they'll return 7 days later with 2,000 gold pieces left in the chest in your quarters. You'll have access to trainers in mercantile, speechcraft, sneak, security, and marksmanship. And your fence Cafiz offers you up to 1,500 gold pieces per item. Those of you working on your security can go to the training chest, which is set to hard, and work on improving your lockpicking. Remember to have fun and do what you want in your cove, because down here, it's our time. It's our time down here. I always insist on hiring pirates myself. I went through a temp agency once, and that was a major mistake. Now let's switch from pirate ships to airships with a quick cheat for Final Fantasy X. Getting around the world of Final Fantasy X is made much easier when traveling in the airship. But watch out for those security screeners. As you travel in the airship, you may notice places on the map that you can't reach. Enter God Hand, which will let you reach the ravine below Mushroom Rock Road, containing Riku's legendary weapon. Victorious will open a secret location at the Besaid Ruins, holding Riku's victorious armor, which repels 3 kinds of elemental attacks. Hey, this high potion is for medical use. It's allowed on the plane. There's lots more cheat coming your way, including the dark secrets of Shadow Hearts, when our all-RPG Blowout continues right after this.
Now, the final 13 episodes of 2 classic series can be yours on special 2-disc collection.
Welcome back to Cheat's all-access pass to your favorite role-playing games. The greatest thing about the best RPGs is that you're never bored. Even when you've completed your main quest, there's still a whole slew of side missions to choose from. You never have to see the daylight again if you don't want to. Here's how to crack one of the tougher side missions in Shadow Hearts.
I'm gonna go sightseeing!
Side quests are the hobbies of video game characters. And let's face it, everyone needs a hobby.
Hi.
In Shadow Hearts from the New World, you'll need to spend some quality time on side quests to get all those extra goodies in the game. Shania has to find her fetishes like this water spirit and exhibitionism. gas up the mystery machine and grab some Scooby snacks because we're going monster hunting with our favorite stereotypical Native American, Natam.
Better luck in the next life.
The hardest beastie to find is this one, which in Cherokee means completely made up. After clearing out Aido Cave, go back to where you found the ring fragment. Take the second right and head north. Place the morphoscales at the feet of the right blue tiki. Don't ask me why, just do it. Return to square one and head east, push north, and then cross over to your left. You'll pass the place you were and hit a room with a save point. Head north again and take your first left. The last black tiki will be the place for the maiden hair. Back out, head right, head down, and then bear left. When you come up upon the red tiki, drop the grapefruit. Head back to the main altar. You know, where you fought the boss. Place the golden nugget at the altar and get ready to rumble. No sweat. Hit him with air spells. Work your combos. And don't forget to take a picture.
Smile and say cheese.
Now, you have a monster in a bottle and a powered-up slug shell ability. And you'll need every bullet just to kill a killer. After following this delinquent duo around the world into some strange places, it will be your time to run when you meet up with Killer. Before going into battle, equip your strongest members with Leonardo's bear. He's great for sleepovers and preventing instant death. When the battle begins, hit Killer hard and fast. Use Johnny's vacuum and any hard-hitting spells to get rid of Killer's stock. He'll combo every time if you give him the chance. Alternate using buff spells like Arc Barrier and Ricardo's songs, and throwing water spells at the hot-blooded Killer. Know where his stock is and where his turn comes at all times. The bear can stop instant death, but your body won't be able to stand up against vice needles and red gravity spells. Prepare to spend a while buffing, healing, icing, and sucking your way to victory. Sooner or later, Killer goes down. But not for good.
Johnny.
See, education is a wonderful thing. Now let's brush up on our force powers with the little Knights of the Old Republic. To get ahead on the dark side in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, we've got a little tip to help you rack up some infinite dark side points. When you're aboard the Ebenhawk, after leaving Tatooine, find a young girl named Sasha. When you talk to her, tell her to leave the ship. This will give you a dark side point. But before she leaves, keep talking to her and tell her to get off the ship again and again. Each time you tell her to leave, you'll attain another dark side point. Now stick around because there's lots more cheat coming up, including an epic showdown between Cloud and Sephiroth when our all-RPG show continues.
I'm Layla Kaylee, and this is The Feed.
Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and get more for your money. Progressive. It's about you, and it's about time.
Welcome back for more role-playing, rule-breaking fun on Cheat. So far, we've concentrated on strategy, but now we've come to the physical fitness portion of our show, with a look at all the furious flying fist martial arts combat in Jade Empire.
I am a god. Come, student of Lee. Your quest for death is at an end.
The Emperor may be ancient, but this old dog knows some new tricks. Emperor Sun High's attacks are swift and deadly. Hit the left and right triggers to deactivate your targeting system. This lets you move in closer without getting whacked. Once you're in close quarters, turn your targeting system back on and commence with your offensive attacks. You can end this fight quickly if you've invested enough style points for the Jade Golem. Since he's immune to all the Emperor's attacks, transforming into one will ensure that this dynasty will be the shortest in Chinese history.
This cannot be! I am Emperor's son! I am a god!
Unfortunately, if your Jade Golem mojo's lacking, you're gonna have to handle Sun High the old-fashioned way. The Emperor's special ability makes him immune to just one type of attack at a time. This means that you can't use a weapon on him when he's got his staff out. And martial arts is also out of the question when he's going all fists of fury. The secret is to counter Little Sunny's style with the exact opposite strategy. And just like in the battle arena, you can use Storm Dragon on His Royal Highness. Continue with your Sun Tzu Art of War strategies, and eventually the mighty Emperor will fall. If you missed any of these tips, shame on you! But you can visit us on the web at g4tv.com/cheat. Now saddle up your steed, we're looking for Easter eggs in the world of Warcraft. Those guys at Blizzard love their sci-fi, and you can tell by all the Easter eggs hidden in World of Warcraft. In Booty Bay, just outside the inn, you'll encounter Chief Engineer Scooty manning a teleportation device. If you have a quest that takes you through the device, you'll find a character named Sprock and his away team. Scooty, Sprock, away team? Sounds pretty Trekkie to us. On your way to the Ironforge auction house, ask one of the guards the location of the alchemy trainer, and he'll say, "Why, oh why didn't I take the blue potion?" A reference to the Matrix. Isn't it awesome how many different species of nerd there are in the world? If you're an epic fantasy nerd, you're in luck. We're delving deep into the mystery of Kingdom Hearts 2 when Cheat returns.
Welcome to the source for all the things you care about.
I love this show every frickin' day.
Attack of the Show, tonight at 7 and 11 on G.
G4TV.com. Always fresh, always new, always plugged in.
Welcome back to Cheat's role-playing game extravaganza. You know you've been dying to see two skinny emo haircut models go toe-to-toe. And now your wish has finally come true. And you get a valuable Keyblade in the bargain. Get set for epic pouting in Kingdom Hearts 2. It may not be the Ultima weapon, but it's the most powerful Keyblade in the game. We're on the hunt for Fenrir. Your quest for this powerful Kingdom Hearts weapon is like a Final Fantasy family reunion. Cloud is free from Hades and searching for the light in his heart. He's on a mission to vanquish the evil angel Sephiroth.
Did Cloud tell you that?
Tifa, meanwhile, well, she mostly yells at the boys to stop fighting and just stands around looking hot. You're back in Hollow Bastion to meet with Merlin.
I think they're at Merlin's.
But before you do, make sure to look in on Cloud. I know. He looks a little pissy, but you have to do this.
I'll get him. This time, we settle it.
Huh?
Me and the one who embodies all the darkness in me.
I didn't think it was possible, but you actually look even more effeminate and emo.
If I do, it's his fault.
Who are you talking about?
Sephiroth. Tell me if you see him.
Okay, I'm glad that's over with. And don't worry about finding Sephiroth. He'll come to you after you beat the Space Paranoids world. Whoa. When he does, make sure you tell him about Miss Clairol here.
He said he's got a score to settle with you.
I see. He wants to meet me again.
These two clearly have a thing to work out. Maybe it's best not to get involved. Sephiroth is easily the hardest boss in the game, but don't challenge him until you're at least level 80. You'll want your second chance and once more abilities equipped, so you don't die when Sephi smacks you with a combo. Glide, retaliating, and aerial recovery are also important, along with guard and counter guard for ground combat. You'll be drinking more potions than a medieval frat boy, so make sure to equip elixirs as one of your shortcuts. You'll find Sephiroth in Radiant Garden, just past the Crystal Fissure. And when you do, he's gonna want the Keyblade.
So that's a Keyblade.
This powerful demigod is known for his devastating combo attacks, so stay frosty with your block reaction command. Use quick hits to knock his HP down, but don't get cocky. He recovers quickly and he's deadly with that giant sword. About halfway through the fight, Sephiroth will raise his arm and summon a wall of fire. Don't get too close or you'll get sucked in. Whenever Sephiroth rises high in the air, knock him out of stance to interrupt his spell casting. Once you've beaten him, head back to Hollow Bastion and give Cloud your message.
Tell him Sephiroth is looking to settle things.
Now it's back to the Dark Depths, where you can watch these Nancy boys fight it out like the final pose down in Zoolander.
Cloud, get him!
After all is said and done, Tifa hands you the Fenrir.
This is for helping me out.
One of the most deadly Keyblades in the game. Meow! And I thought girls fought dirty. Well, that's it for now. If you missed any of these role-playing game tips and tricks, just log on to our website at g4tv.com/cheat. You can also visit our forums or write to us at cheat@g4tv.com. Until next time, I'm Kristen Holt, and you've been cheating. Games are for fantasy